She earned her wings when she appeared as Chris Monroe. Did you like that little play on words? She earned her wings on Charlie's Angels. Did you like that? Now, 35 films plus later, she's fantastic still. Please welcome the effervescent Cheryl Ladd.
This is beautiful.
Thanks.
Sparkle.
Yeah,
I know, but everybody thinks it's dandruff.
Oh, no.
People come up to me and go.
No, but see, you know, that's the cool thing now, to have a little sparkle dandruff.
No, it's gorgeous. Isn't she a beautiful woman?
Yeah,
I love her. You should talk. No, you are. You're beautiful.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you back.
Oh, it's so
Do you remember what we did last time? We did that film.
Yes.
I'm not going to do it to you again.
Okay, good. We're not singing, are we?
No, we're not singing.
Oh, good.
We recreated one of those moments that we had in the former Donnie and Marie show back in the 70s. It was great.
Hey,
do you believe, we were talking about this in the opening, do you believe in a sixth sense?
I believe that God has made people that have gifts that are beyond gifts that others of us have. Yes.
Right.
So in a way, yes, I do. I believe that I'm open to the possibility. Let's put it that way. Am I a firm believer? I wouldn't say I'm a firm believer, but I'm certainly open to the possibility.
People are naturally curious. They want to know.
Whether you believe or not, there is a curiosity.
Definitely.
Did you see the movie?
I did.
You did? What did you think?
I was so taken in by it, and so surprised by the ending. It got me. It was just.
Did you see it twice?
No, I haven't been back yet.
But like I
do
said,
want
isn't
to
that
see
brilliant? They get people to come back twice.
Yes.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Definitely ka-ching, ka-ching. and yeah, because you're going, what did I should have known this, but there was one moment that was, as an actor, was very odd to me in the movie, and I thought...
Which part? You don't have to say what it is for those who haven't seen it, but I mean, for you, which part?
When he first meets Bruce, and Bruce is sitting...
Careful,
I know exactly.
There was an odd beat there.
Yes, there was.
Yep.
Wasn't there?
Well, in retrospect, after seeing the ending, it...
Excuse us while we just...
Yeah, don't listen to them. Don't
but
listen
I'm just
to anybody.
saying, at the moment that beat happened in the movie, I thought, that was an odd directorial choice or actor choice. There was just an oddness about it.
There was an oddness,
and I sense it then.
See, we're being very careful what we say.
Because we don't want to ruin the movie if you haven't seen it.
Have you seen it?
It's great.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Do you believe...
Just in the way they communicate is very strange.
You know, I know...
That's all we'll say about it.
I know it's strange, but you believe that people communicate with those who have passed on?
I think that there are people who can, yes. But I believe in... I know that odd things have happened to me in my life.
Like
and people,
what?
I know people that have seen angels and had visitations. And,
like, you say to you, do you have any experience?
I had a really odd experience. When
I'm looking at an angel right now. Ho! Ho! Oh!
Don't start, honey.
I'm sorry.
A really odd thing happened when I first came to California. I was parked my car across the street, walked across this residential area of town, walked up the little walkway into her house, had a visit, was walking back to my car, and as I was about to step into the street, someone said, "Cheryl," and I turned around, and as I turned around, a car zoomed by about 100 miles an hour, and there was no one there.
Wow.
And I went into and it was so jarring to me. I went into the house and I said to my friend, "You just called me," and she said, "I'm sorry, what?" I said, "Didn't you just come to the door and call my name? Did you see what just happened?" She said, "No, honey, I was in the laundry room."
Oh, man.
There wasn't anybody there, but somebody...
Had you not heard that voice, you would have stepped up.
I would have been dead.
Do you remember that film they did, that TV movie where they had, it was in Wyoming a few years back when a guy strapped bombs to himself and went into that elementary school? Carl, my manager's cousin, was teaching there. Make a long story short, the first and second grader, they were going through some genealogy books because it was reported that these little kids saw people in white telling them where to stand, that a bomb was going to go off.
Wow.
They were looking through their genealogy, and the lady said, "Look, that's the lady that told me where to stand, but she wasn't wearing glasses, and it was her great-grandma."
Wow.
So, you know, I believe that I believe that those that go on protect us.
Are you going to be a little nervous to talk to John Edward later on? Are you nervous about it?
A little. I wouldn't say nervous. I'm a Christian, so I really believe that we are connected in a very powerful way to Jesus and to God, and that. But I also believe that asking us to understand what all of that really is like asking a dog to explain to you how television works. I think we are not terribly capable
analogy, yeah.
to really comprehend the awesome power of God.
Yeah.
And I think that there are people sometimes who have that sense or are given gifts that I think there are some charlatans out there too.
I totally agree with you.
And
There's a
so
lot of faith.
And I wanna ask
I'm
him
a
about
hopeful skeptic, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
Let's talk about what you're doing now. Two guys and a pizza.
On ESPN.
On ESPN, there you go. I'm getting it all right today.
Most guys do have pizzas.
Watching ESPN.
Now, this is going to be a recurring role because you're playing Berg's mom, right?
Yes, I have a feeling they're having me back fairly
that's
soon.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was interesting.
We have a clip.
You're so good at comedy, too. You're so wonderful.
I got to tell you, I love doing it.
This
too.
is with you, two guys and a girl.
Yes.
Okay.
You look like that woman on television. What's her name?
Oh, Mary Tyler Moore?
My, don't we have a high opinion of ourselves?
Well, no, it's just that a lot of people have commented on the resemblance.
Well, they were just blowing hot air up your ass.
Now, the
angel has changed.
Are you upper class? What are you? Your character?
Well, Berg's mom, and she's the kind of mother that doesn't think any girl is good enough for her son, and she tries to test them at every turn. She was actually the mother from hell, but she was so fun to play.
That's going to be a great
She's actually a
role for
wonderful
you.
character.
And
She
that's going to
actually
be on
adores her
tonight,
son.
right? Tonight on ABC.
Yes.
Tonight
8 p.m.
at 8
Yeah.
p.m. on ABC.
It's great fun. It's a hoot.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We're going to go to commercial. We're going to bring John Edwards out, and we're going to have him talk to you.
To stick around and
We'll
we'll
be
see what he
back.
says.
I will.
With John Edwards and more of Cheryl Ladd right after
Next week, film star Mary Stuart Masterson. Later in the show, this woman gets a message from her deceased husband.
Play it, man! Play it! That was great!
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, we
having way
accept,
too much fun here.
we accept that, someone having a sixth sense in a movie. But in real life, could a person have this gift? Now, our next guest says, yes, he can do it. He's had it all his life. Will you please welcome psychic medium, author of One Last Time, John Edwards.
I'm sitting here, John is walking out, and I'm thinking, poor John, he's walking into the fire here.
Well, I bet you do that every day.
All
I bet
these
you find
skeptics.
skeptics everywhere you go.
Well, if you say that you talk to dead people for a living, it's kind of like comes with the territory. You
Yeah.
just can't expect people to go, oh, that's great.
Yeah. Is there a sixth sense? Now, obviously, you believe there is, but is there?
Absolutely. I was listening to what you guys are talking about, and I have to say that I agree with everything that you said. I believe that it's something that we all have the ability to connect with. And I think that the most important thing that I'm trying to put out there is to show people that this is just an energy. And if I can connect with the energy, everybody can connect with the energy. And by connecting with that energy, it raises your awareness level. And once you do that, then you can recognize the signs and the symbols.
How do you do
Get a
that?
message. Simply by gaining knowledge and by learning more about it and paying attention to it. And if you pay attention to something, then you can recognize the occurrence when it's happening.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some tough questions, okay?
Shoot.
All right. How do you know that you're getting the right message? Now, obviously, and I'll go to extremes here. Angel of light, angel of dark.
Great question. Myself, also being Christian, raised Catholic, very into the whole prayer aspect of the work. To me, anything that I do before I do this, and this is just my thing, and I say it clearly, I pray the rosary before I do this, and then I do it after again. And that's something that I personally do, because I want to keep myself in that energy for the people that I'm doing it for, and I also do it for the people that are coming through, just in case their relatives and friends don't appreciate what happens while it's happening. It's my way of saying, thanks for making the attempt.
Now, when did you first discover, John, that you had this ability, whatever you want to call it, this intuition?
I actually went for a reading with a woman by the name of Lydia Clore, and I went to debunk her because I felt like she was taking advantage of my family. And one.
How old were you?
15.
15.
She was at my grandmother's house, and they were doing like a psychic house party, and one by one.
Psychic house party?
Oh, gee.
Think Tupperware. Take out the Tupperware, put in the psychic. And one by one, everybody was coming out of their session with her with this like glazed over look. And they had psychics come to the house before, but nobody really took it serious. They were taking this woman very serious, and I felt for the first time, guys, this woman's like, telling you a story, and you're paying her money. Like, let's get a grip here. Buy a book. It'll be cheaper. And they were like, no, she's really, really good. Go. And I went, and she was amazing. Amazing. She was very accurate. It wasn't about generalities. It was about specific things. Mm-hmm. And because that was my first experience, that's kind of what I want to put out there.
Now, see, I have this thing where I don't want anybody to tell me something of my future. I like to be my own future. And I believe that God does that. But you don't necessarily tell people future, do you?
Absolutely.
You really only talk to
if it comes
dead people,
through,
right?
One of the things that you said in the beginning of the show was that you don't want somebody telling you what to do. And I have to tell you that I don't think any person who does this type of work has the right to tell somebody what they should be doing.
That's up to God.
And that's how
Absolutely.
you discern the phonies from the...
Absolutely. See, because then they're taking on your free will. And that's what God gave us. They gave us free will to pick and choose what we want to do, whether or not you want to deal with something that's of a positive or negative energy.
How do you explain what Cheryl said earlier?
A gift.
She heard a voice that saved her life, according to what Cheryl believes.
Well, what I'm curious about was you said to your friend, you called me. Mm-hmm. And that would allude to me that you were picking up on a female's voice. Was it a female's voice that you heard?
Yes.
Okay. More than likely what it was is one of her relatives or somebody who was crossed over in her family who was just watching out for her and was there to guide her. And that's what I think their big message is. Their big message is not to give you the 6 lotto numbers. Their big
message is the what?
Not to give you the 6 lotto numbers.
Dang it. I wanted the lotto numbers.
Which is one of my favorite stories about the guy that prays and prays and prays to God and says, please let me win the lottery. I have to win the lottery. Please, God, let me win the lottery. This goes on for months. And he says, God, I'm losing faith. I mean, let me win. And God says, buy a ticket.
That's great. That's great.
But that's what I think actually happened. I think there was somebody that was just watching over her, as we all have people watching over us. And my whole big message that I'm trying to put out there with the book and when I lecture is to demystify what this is and say, don't give your power to somebody else. Pay attention to what you have inside you.
All right. Cheryl's nervous about doing this, okay?
She's nervous?
She's nervous. Do you get nervous?
Are you kidding?
Did you have a crush on her? I picked up on that, okay?
Is that going to kind of like hamper this,
I'm an intuitive psychic.
One of the first things that I wrote about in the book was how I used to collect all the Charlie's Angels cards.
Really? Okay, so this is going to be very... What can she expect?
You know what? I always tell people whenever they go for a session, what they should expect is to have an open mind and to be objective and to pay attention to what's coming through. Because I never know what's going to happen.
When we come back, we're going to have you talk to Cheryl, and we'll all have open minds.
We'll see what happens.
When we come back, right after this.
Up next, psychic John Edward attempts to give Cheryl Ladd a message from the other side.